Hi, my name is Carla Pargetta, and this is my presentation on my top 5 papers of 2015-2016 on clinical handover and digital health transformation, synergistic or mutually exclusive. My background is as a registered nurse with a Master of Health Service Management. I'm currently employed as the Clinical Systems Operations Manager at Peninsula Health. I've been assisting with the eHealth journey over the last 5 years. My literature review focused on clinical handover standardization approaches and what role an electronic health record has, if any. My literature search strategy focused on certain keywords, including clinical handover, informatics, bypass, ISBAR, nursing. I searched across the main databases. I did an initial first pass on 21 articles. I shortlisted that and did a full text review on 7 and then further shortlisted to my top 5. The rationale for selecting my top 5 papers: I focused on clinical handover, use of informatics principles, the use of or the potential to use electronic tools, quality measures demonstrated in the study as well as benefits realized, and then reference to governance, scalability and challenging of the cultural norms. My first paper was looking at one entitled The Piece of Paper, Patient Lists as Work Tools. The original driver around looked at the challenges of implementing information communication technology solutions due to the nature of hospital work being fluid, mobile and fragmented, and often introducing barriers when replicating certain paper-based processes into electronic. It's believed that digital transformation will increase quality control and efficiencies through standardization and improved quality measures. This hospital had implemented an electronic health record 4 years prior to the study and was currently using a paper list. 2 lists were reviewed in this study, one a Word template with minimal pre-populated data, the second an electronic printout of certain fields from the electronic health record. The results were interesting. The paper patient list was seen by users as a formal handover tool and an informal commentary of information about the patient, which they did not want included in their electronic health record. Nursing staff worked between both the EHR and the paper handover tool to achieve their required outcomes. The benefits of an easy access quick reference paper tool, which was static in origin, appeared to outweigh real-time updates universally available to all within the EHR. The paper tool was seen by staff as a personal support tool, individual to them, with ownership of the data annotated as their own, often including other non-clinical notes to support shift management. Overall, the paper tool was versatile, dynamic, and supported daily clinical practice. It was easy to access, review, and update, which was at odds with the electronic health record, which could have access and timeliness issues due to technology limitations. The study felt that the paper tool, utilized in its broadest aim of supporting daily clinical practice, still had a strong place in the hospital setting. The rationale focus for this particular one was clinical handover, use of informatics, and the use of our electronic tool. The next study looked at the rates of nursing errors and handoffs relating to same errors. The driver around this change was the leading cause of sentinel events evaluated by the Joint Commission and communication failure during handoffs, noting that inadequate handoffs introduce clinical risk and organizational inefficiencies. This study ran over 2 years, split between 12 months pre-data collection, 12 months post-intervention data collection within a tertiary general hospital. The creation of the paper-based standard nursing handoff form was reviewed by expert nursing and quality control governance groups. The form design was split into 2 key areas about the patient. The first area was demographics and patient presentation overview, the second being visual safety checks and reconciling against the clinical management plans such as oxygen flow rates, IV fluid management. This study had a financial incentive program attached for the post-intervention check, relating to the reduction in missing handoff items and voluntary reporting of errors via the incident management system. Data collection was via observed errors, voluntary reporting of errors, and medical record audit. This study saw a significant reduction in error rates per 100 admissions, with overall nursing rates and handoff-related errors markedly reducing. They also saw a general reduction in pressor ulcer rates, inappropriate care of lines, and falls. The author's analysis was that the implementation of a standardized nursing handoff form showed an improvement in patient safety parameters and outcomes. The focus for this particular one, the rationale demonstrated, was clinical handover, use of informatics, quality measures, benefits realized, and governance. The next article was around the development and implementation of an electronic health record generated surgical handoff and rounding tool. The driver for this change was evidence that over 85% of non-federal acute hospitals in the US had adopted an electronic health record, with billions invested to realize quality outcome measures, including improved patient outcomes and organizational efficiencies. Communication of clinical handoffs still remains a major source of error and preventable adverse events. The study was to confirm if a high-paced pediatric surgical service could transition from an existing electronic access database handover tool, referred to as Tool 1, to one generated from the embedded electronic health record, referred to as Tool 2. Tool 1 was manually maintained and updated by various stakeholder groups. Tool 2 had several fields pre-populated from the electronic health record. Both tools had room for annotation. Tool 1 could be more easily condensed and printed out on less double-sided pages than Tool 2. This was important to the end users. The study ran over 12 months. 6 months focused specifically on Tool 1, 6 months focused on Tool 2. The results. Study demonstrated improved accuracy, efficiency, and safety aspects when using the electronic health record generated handover tool, with significant reduction in tool maintenance as data was being pulled from the electronic health record, which is routinely inputted by various people or interfacing systems, automating and spreading the resource burden. The electronic health tool was also able to incorporate additional SMART, such as the Pediatric Early Warning System alerts scores, automatically populating the printed handover tool, provide a greater transparency of patients of concern. The study also indicated further benefits would be realized when Tool 2 was available via mobile technology platforms such as smartphones and tablets. This had a really strong pull on my rationale. We saw clinical handover, use of informatic principles, use of electronic tool, quality measures, benefits realized, and other. The next article focused on real-world implementation of a standardized handover program called IPASS on a pediatric clinical teaching unit. Again, the driver was around recent evidence from a large North American study indicating the implementation of a handover suite of tools can significantly reduce medical errors. The author conducted a study rolling out the IPASS handover processes where existing handwritten tool was reformatted to follow IPASS, which is an acronym for Illness, Severity, Patient Summary, Action List, Situational Awareness and Contingency Planning, and Synthesis of Information by Receiver, as a medical communication structure tool. Measurements included review of handover documents, handover duration, and observational videos. The IPASS handover process introduced a more collaborative approach with trusting of information shared, which included elements of key importance, and it eliminated some of the historical fragmented approaches. The study saw an increase in teaching moments, particularly during the synthesis stage of handover, with interactive questioning and validation consolidating the understanding. This was seen as a positive process and supportive of an organizational culture of collaborative learning. The study saw a standardized use of terminology when categorizing patients, such as stable, watcher, or unstable. This created clearer understanding of workload impacts and prioritization. Faculty clinical champions were deemed as pivotal to the successful adoption of this process, and overall the study saw an increase in handover quality. Again, we saw a high compliance with the original rationale, clinical handover, use of informatics principles, quality measures and benefits realized, and governance. The next study focused on evaluating outcomes of electronic tools supporting physician shift-to-shift handoffs, looking at a systematic review. Again, the Joint Commission had found that over 60% of sentinel events involved miscommunication between healthcare providers, with many being preventable adverse events. The systematic review of the literature since 2008 was collated, and data was categorized into 3 types: self-reported measures, process measures, and outcome measures. 37 unique articles were found related to the keyword search parameters, but noted only 3 studies actually captured patient outcome data, making it hard to associate clear links due to decreased evidence. Stronger data to support the use of electronic physician handoff was evidenced when reviewing process measures. Influences of organizational culture, environment, teamwork and dynamics, leadership skills, and faculty oversight were also considered key. It was highlighted that completeness and accuracy of data is only one component of perceived successful clinical handoff while using an electronic tool. It was recognized that data supporting best practice of handoff remains lacking, therefore providing guidance of how to translate to an electronic workflow challenging. Human factor components of any electronic tool should also be considered, with end users being actively engaged in the feedback loop regarding suitability of the tool. Again, we did see a high pullback against the rationale of clinical handover, use of informatics principles, quality measures, benefits realized, and other. So, recommendations, predictions, and next steps. Vidyarthi and Coffey pose the question, paperless handover, are we ready? It's a great question. The reviews I've done to date would indicate we're nearly there, but not quite. We have good frameworks to improve standards of communication tools, closing gaps around preventable adverse events, but our electronic options are not quite agile enough to meet the expectation of easy, accurate, and mobile. Does that mean we should stop progressing electronic health record-driven handover tools? Certainly not. The benefits of multiple end users contributing to the clinical picture in real time with minimized duplication of effort, standardization of key data capture, and electronic smarts to improve care delivery are all still essential to how we deliver healthcare. But I still think there is a place for paper tools which leverage off those electronic health record workflows to assist us at present. I think we're talking only in short time frames around technology, which will allow the bridging of some of these existing limitations. Until that happens, culturally the comfort that piece of paper gives should not be underestimated. I think research that can demonstrate realized benefits of an electronic health record-driven handover tool will help address the cultural gaps around fully adopting this required change. So in conclusion, what have been my learnings across this literature search? Yes, there is a synergy between clinical handover and digital transformation, but it will take time to see full immersion and benefits. Although it is key we have the end game in mind, we must not underestimate the change management journey required to make this a meaningful transition that meets many stakeholders' agendas. More research is needed to determine if we are having the desired patient safety outcomes. Are we seeing that reduction in sentinel or preventable adverse events? As with most assignments, I like to do a reflection across the assignment to see what I've actually learned. My general reflections on clinical informatics and digital health transformations. Specific to this assignment, my considerations have been impacts on health determinants, drivers for change, evidence-based expectations, benefits realized, managing expectations, required skill sets, risk management mitigation, and the understanding of new emerging theories and technology. And a big one for me, interoperability. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.